Hi there, welcome back to Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Lauren Baker, filling in for Mike Scott today. And we are here with Evan Monroe of Fresno Film Bluff. It's a really cool thing. He hosts a lot of movie events here in Fresno, like at Peeves Public Brewery, Public House, and things like that. So welcome, Evan.
Hello.
Sorry I'm stuttering all over you. Tell us a little bit about the events you have coming up and how they got started.
Well, Craig Sharton, the owner of Peeves Public House, he came to me about running the movie nights there, which they've done it in the past. And I thought, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to. He said, the first and third Sunday of each month. And then I came to Craig with the idea of doing the Savage Cinema Club, where it's a movie night with a twist, where we show a movie, and then me and another local comedian are on the mic, and we crack jokes during it, kind of in the style of Mystery Science Theater and riff tracks.
That's so cool.
I got a laser pointer. We have drinking games. Some of these movies you'll need to drink a lot, to be honest. They are just it's just a great fun. It's kind of a fun experience, like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, and so we're doing that. I'm also I introduced the films over at the Warner's Theater, like the classic film series there. But I just thought it would be so much fun to. You can watch these movies at home, but you need that group experience. It's fun. It brings a community together, and also you're supporting Peeves in downtown. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Now, what got you to do like the Savage Cinema theme specifically? Like, what inspired that?
What inspired it is I've done local comedy around here, stand-up, and to be honest with you, I sort of got a little bored with the traditional stand-up. So I love movies. I'm a huge movie buff, obviously. So I thought, why not do a hybrid of a movie night and live comedy and just, do something different that they're not really doing around here in the Valley. I mean, they do it down in L.A. and hip places like Austin and Seattle. They have live shows like that. So I just thought I would bring it here. And Craig was really receptive to that idea. So we're doing it. We started in February. We start off with Roadhouse, which is a classic, and then we did Showgirls, which was not for the kids, but we had a lot of fun, and then we just did Reefer Madness.
That's right. I think I saw something about that online. I'm super sad I missed it.
Well, if this is successful and keeps going, hopefully we'll be able to do this more than just on Sunday nights. We'll do it all the time. Coming up, we're going to be doing Battlefield Earth.
Oh.
May 15th, we're going to have to crack a lot of jokes because that one is, your jaw will drop at just how did this movie get made? And then in June, we're going to do Footloose, the original with Kevin Bacon. And, even if you're a fan of that movie, we're just going to spice it up a little bit. And then in July, we're going to do Cocktail with Tom Cruise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he traded in his F-18 for Flair bartending at TGI Fridays. So that movie's very epic.
That's so cool. How do you feel about when companies remake classics like Footloose or Grease, like Grease 2 and things like that, without the original people?
It's funny is that even when they remake these movies, people are still talking about the original. Like, on top of the Savage Cinema Club, for the first Sunday of each month, we just do regular, legit classic films. Like, May 1st, we're going to be watching RoboCop.
Oh, actually I haven't seen that one.
Oh, well, what better way to see it? Came out in 1987. It's been remade recently, but except no substitutes.
Oh.
It's the original. We're going to watch it in high definition. I will not be cracking jokes during that movie because
it's a serious business.
It's funny on purpose. A lot of people are surprised the original RoboCop how funny it is. It's a satire. It's classic.
I can't even tell that it's like a comedy by looking at it. I'm assuming it's just a sci-fi movie.
Everybody thinks that's a sci-fi movie, but it's like it has a really hard-edged satire to it, and it's a lot wittier than people give it credit for.
Yeah, that happens sometimes with really good movies that end up becoming like cult classics and things like that. But hey, whatever. They're still little treasures for those that appreciate them.
Yes.
Now, you also have a blog that kind of got you into doing all these events.
Yes. It started on my Instagram where I was just doing what everybody does, where I would just take pictures of my food or a beautiful sunset, and I thought, well, I love movies. Why not do that? And Instagram's a great way to connect with movie fans,
Yeah.
and it's also a great way to connect with people that are just casual movie fans and get them more into it. So I feel like, kind of like what the local DJs on KFSR would do with music, that's what I want to do with classic films, where I just turn people on to, just because a movie's more than 20 years old doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot. I mean, I feel like an archaeologist. There's still all this gold I'm digging for when I go to Rasputin and go through their old movies.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, it's great. So now I decided to put a brand name, Fresno Film Buff, and just immediately my followers just doubled.
Yeah.
I mean, about a year ago when I changed my name to Fresno Film Buff, I had about 250 followers. And then I started networking and just posting about movies in Fresno here, and now I'm close to 750 followers.
Wow.
In just a year.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I have that, and I'm also on Twitter, Fresno Film Buff on there, and you can also find me on Facebook, Evan Monroe Faulkner. Monroe's my middle name, but I usually do that on stage, Evan Monroe. And I have a website that I'm working on that will be up later this year.
Oh, awesome.
A blog.
That's
Yes.
so cool. Now, what are you going to be showing at the next movie night that you're planning?
The next movie night will be the aforementioned RoboCop, and then the Savage Cinema Club. So RoboCop's May 1st. The next Savage Cinema Club is May 15th, where we'll be watching this disaster piece and having a great time mocking it. So it's like the Fulton Film Series. The legit standard classic films is the first Sunday, and then the third Sunday is Savage Cinema Club, where we just throw shade at the movie and just have a good old time.
I hope that one of these days for Savage Cinema you do a Howard the Duck one or something like that.
Oh, believe me, that is on my radar. That's hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yes. Now, because I follow you on most social media accounts, I saw that you posted something with Clark Gable, and I forgot who the actress was in it, but what's that one? Is that the one for the classic cinema thing you have coming up?
It's not. It's just looking up, Googling old films, and I found there's this movie that Clark Gable did with Yvonne Carlo. Now,
Yeah.
most people know Yvonne Carlo as Mrs. Munster on the Munsters.
Yeah, okay.
But what a lot of people don't know is that before that, she was like a major sex symbol in the movies. I mean, she was stunning,
I did
gorgeous.
not know.
She was a big star in the 40s and 50s. So the Munsters was actually later in her career. And to be honest with you, I actually haven't seen this movie yet. It's called Band of Angels. It's set on a plantation with Clark Gable. This was 20 years after Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
But he was still a major star. And I just found this beautiful picture, just very artistic picture of him and her, holding each other. And
I
it's
loved that picture. I loved it. Like, I was
It's
screenshot
stunning.
it because I want to try and paint it or something. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's that old magic of Hollywood that you just can't. You can try and copy nowadays, but you just cannot replicate it.
No, you can't. Not when there was big energies like Clark Gable and Greta Garbo and people like that. Like those spirits can't be recreated at all.
There's just a passion to those films because censorship was so strong back in
Yeah.
the 30s, 40s, and 50s. When they kissed, they couldn't actually show them going further. So when they kissed, they really kissed. There was a lot of passion about it, and
Fade out to black where you have to assume.
yes. Or I like it when the camera would just pan away.
And that's so true. And even on shows like I Love Lucy, where they had to be in twin beds because they couldn't be depicted in the same one, even though they're married. Like, you gotta
yeah.
assume that happens when little Ricky shows up eventually how many seasons down the road. They can't do that with twin beds.
You know what's funny about I Love Lucy is that when that show started in the early 50s, the networks were nervous that people in the Deep South would take offense to a Caucasian woman and a Hispanic man, Desi Arnaz, who's Cuban. It's just like, it's just insane nowadays to think about it that way. Like, oh my goodness, a mixed marriage on TV.
I know, even, I forget which particular movie it was, but I remember, as far as censorship goes, there was a particular movie where L.B. Mayer was having, this big crisis because they had a film where they had horses pooping, and he was like, we can't have that. We can't have horses crapping on the screen. And they're like, but they do that. Like, we have thousands of horses in this shop. What are we supposed to do? Because there's only one doing it, by the way. And he wanted the whole thing scrapped because of the one horse, because it was too vulgar to him. And it's like, well, what are we supposed to do? We can cut 1,000,000 of them, and one of them I promised he was going to do it again. He's just like, then I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do this picture. It's too stressful. Like, he was just having this huge crisis, and I just love reading stuff like that because it's hilarious.
Well, they didn't have CGI back then to digitally erase the poop, you know.
You just see, like, the butt quivering, but there's nothing happening.
That's why sometimes they would withdraw food from the horses prior to filming.
Yeah.
But I love how we got on that subject.
I know, I'm so sorry. This was a family-friendly show, and then it got ruined with poop. I'm sorry.
It's a fact of life. The kids got to learn sometime.
Exactly. Now, can we go over one more time when the next events are coming up before we go off on a terrible tangent and ruin the point of this interview?
Yes, it's the Savage Cinema Club, which is the third Sunday of each month at 7 o'clock. That's the ones where we mock it. And then there's the Fulton Film Series, which is just the standard fun classic movie nights on the first Sunday of each month. And you can follow me on social media. You can also go on Facebook and like Peeves Public House, where they will have all the events, and you'll be kept abreast of that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Evan. It's been so much fun having you, and we hope you'll be back to talk more about what you have going on, or maybe if there's new things that you're trying out. That'd be great. Or even just to talk about your website when that's up too. That would be super fun.
Yes, talk movies.
Yes, talk movies. Oh, that'd be a good show. Stay right here on Central Valley Business. We'll be right back.